So in this segment, we're going to be talking about the House of Lords Committee saying grace period should be permanent. And I've got news for the House of Lords Committee. Grace periods are not permanent, they're temporary. That's how they work generally. I mean, come on, guys and gals, baronesses, lords, what the hell? This is what taxpayers are paying you for. The Northern Ireland Protocol grace period should be made permanent, a House of Lords Committee has said. Honestly, the grace periods mean that the deal is not being fully implemented. I mean, do you remember the whole scandal with Cumberland sausages and other sausages and stuff, the sausage wars? The UK government is intending to unilaterally override the protocol if the EU do not agree to radical changes. It's hand over your wallet or I shoot you kind of time. The Lords Subcommittee on the protocol has been hearing evidence from businesses and politicians. Some businesses say the protocol is working well for them by protecting all island supply chains and giving them an advantage when trading with the EU, because obviously the EU is a much bigger market than the UK. And also the fact that, there are many producers in Northern Ireland that are relying on processors in the Republic of Ireland. The two are interlocked with each other, whether they like it or not, whether unionists like it or not. They are relying on the Republic of Ireland. Just like in some ways, the Republic of Ireland is reliant on Northern Ireland. Other firms moving goods from Great Britain to Northern Ireland say the protocols had added significant cost and complexity. That was always going to happen when you put a trade border in the Irish Sea. The EU have looked at making things easier. There are things we can do to make exporting easier, but the UK just doesn't want to do them. Controls on GB to Northern Ireland goods movement have never been fully implemented because of the grace periods and the fact that the UK just flat out can't do it. You don't have the staff or the infrastructure to do it. These were initially agreed by the UK and the EU before unilaterally extended by the UK. The BBC forgets that was kind of illegal. Serious economic impact. They mean, for example, that supermarkets do not require the full range of EU certifications for moving goods and that parcels do not need customs declarations. And with the supermarkets one, again, the EU has offered a trusted trader scheme. We botched it. The UK botched it, and we didn't get it in the end. So that could happen. There's a chance that could happen if we get competent leadership and competent ministers. The fact is, we don't have either. And with the parcels, I don't know. I don't know if there's a fix for that. I genuinely don't. For customs, because again, you can use parcels for smuggling. Maybe there isn't a fix for that. I genuinely don't know. Someone in the comments can let me know about that one. Parcels needing customs, is there a way around that? Is there any way we can for people in Great Britain to not have to do that? The committee says there is widespread support for the continuation of various grace periods and derogation. Well, obviously there's support for grace periods because it makes people's lives easier generally. Obviously there's support for it because no one wants to pay customs fees or vet checks and all this stuff. This amidst warnings of the serious economic impacts should they come to an end without being replaced. And the problem is that they can be potentially replaced. The problem is the UK won't sit at the table. If the UK, if Truss went to Sefcovic and said, look, the customs with the parcels, that's an issue. What can we do about that? The supermarkets having issues. Can we get a trusted trader scheme? What can we do here? If we did that, we'd be in a much better position rather than saying, oh yeah, that's a problem, we're going to get rid of that. It's just ridiculous. It adds that the EU proposals for reforms of the protocol appear to be based on the assumption that the grace periods will come to an end. Well, duh. There's a reason why there are grace periods. They lasted for 6 months. Some of them 3, some of them 6. We could have had longer ones initially, but Lord Frost said, no, these are fine. Apparently they were even on the government website. It urges both sides to agree to the permanent continuation of grace periods and derogations. Again, that's not going to happen though, pal, is it? I mean, geez, it's not going to happen. The reason why the grace periods were there was to help the UK have more time to put the relevant custom processes in place. When it comes to chilled meats, the EU doesn't accept them. Third countries cannot export chilled meats into the EU. It's either fresh or frozen. It also says the UK government should commit to the permanent operation of its two main business support schemes, the Trusted Trader Support Service and the Movement Assistance Scheme. And again, I agree with that, but my main issue is if your supply chain exists within within Great Britain, and you're living in Northern Ireland and you're relying on Great Britain's for products, I would seriously, unless you can't do that, there's a fundamental reason why you can't move your supply chain out. I would, at this point in time, I would seriously look at it. I would seriously look at why you're still importing stuff from Great Britain. The EU acknowledges that the operation of the protocol needs to be simplified and has proposed a package of reforms. However, the UK government said these don't go far enough, but that's why you go back to the negotiating table and you see what you can get. You don't walk away. A Foreign Office spokesperson said our overriding priority is to protect the Good Friday Agreement. I mean, that's a myth. That's a myth because the protocol doesn't damage the Good Friday Agreement. That's why they mention it in all its dimensions, because they have to mention Stormont in there. Stormont, a creation of the Good Friday Agreement. But the simple fact is, the border is the main issue, and that's what's being put at jeopardy here, the border on the island of Ireland. The spokesperson says, our preference remains for a negotiated solution. That's why you haven't negotiated in ages. However, the EU have repeatedly refused to change their mandate. I mean, isn't it ironic? We moan at the EU for not changing their mandate, right? When we're the ones that changed our mandate. The Northern Ireland Protocol was part of the Tory manifesto. And now suddenly they're just going to go back on it and get rid of what was a manifesto promise. Madness. Absolute madness, especially after Boris Johnson lied consistently about the ramifications of the protocol. The EU say these unilateral changes will be a clear breach of the deal and a breach of international law. Even the Americans are very unhappy with us. The Lords Subcommittee is intending to begin scrutiny of the bill in September, so this bill, I don't know if it can get passed by the end of the year, the Northern Ireland Protocol Bill. I don't know. It could be next year, it could be passed into law. It's just a question of, yes, you put the gun on the table, you've drawn it from the holster. Are you going to fire it? And I don't know if the government are going to do it. I don't know if they're ready to spark a trade war. Because let's not forget, it will be a one-sided trade war. The UK doesn't have the capability or the desire to put tariffs on EU goods. The EU, on the other hand, will not be so friendly. They can put tariffs on our goods. It would not be hard for them. And at the end of the day, once those tariffs are put on, chances are people, businesses within the EU will alter their supply chains. And whatever they are importing from the UK, they will look for alternative suppliers, be that from other third countries or be that, ideally from EU member states or even EFTA countries. And once that happens, you're talking about supply chains, export business in the UK struggling long term, even after a trade war. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below about this statement from the Lords Subcommittee. What do you think about their statements? Do you agree, disagree? Like the video, comment, share, subscribe, support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.